All right, everybody. Looks like maybe we're live.
I think we're live. I can't
Let's
go
look at
live
the.
anymore, but I can end the broadcast.
I'm going to listen to it on YouTube. Let's see. Am I muted?
I can hear you.
No, the YouTube stream. It's not playing audio for some reason. Why isn't it playing audio? Hello?
Hello. All right, I'm listening to. Let's see.
Are you able to listen to it on your end?
Yes, I can hear it on my end.
All right. How does it
Hello.
sound?
It sounds pretty good. I may actually be slightly louder than you, which is weird,
Okay.
but I mean, we're close. I don't think you sound bad by any means.
All right, good. I mean, I can go way up, so.
Yeah, if you can go a little up, that might be good.
Yeah. In order for me to do that, I need to. Mic and camera settings. Audio. I need to disable the StreamYard automatically adjust volume thing.
Oh, right.
All right.
It is so trippy hearing your voice repeat itself like 2 seconds after you talk.
Yeah, that's got to be strange. Input. All right, tell me when to stop.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
All
Hello.
right. Am I
Yeah.
getting louder?
Yes. Well,
How about now? Is that louder?
yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right. How about that? Is that louder?
Yes, that is definitely louder.
Okay, should I keep going louder?
Yeah, I don't think you need to keep going.
You don't need me to go louder?
I think we're about even.
Oh, okay. How about now? Is that even? How about now?
This is so hilarious because I don't know if I'm hearing you live or you on YouTube like when you're asking the question.
Oh, how about now? Is that louder?
I I I think you're about as loud as you can go now. I don't think it's getting any louder now.
Oh, how about now?
Whoa, that's louder.
Oh, is that louder?
Yes. I spoke too soon. You were not as loud as you could go. Wow.
No, this is Linux. You can definitely make it. You can drive things a lot better.
That was crazy.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. We can't, unfortunately, actually um, whatchamacallit. We
Didn't
cannot
work on the
actually,
Asus.
yeah, we can't get it to work on the Asus because and the Asus has a special MediaTek card, which is probably for the better anyway because that machine needs machine is more powerful and really probably benefits from having Windows on it more than having Linux on it. So we're installing it on an HP. The other thing that we can't do is do screen share because of a couple of reasons. One of them being that I can't share audio in Firefox. That feature doesn't work. And I can't get Chrome working with accessibility because you have to export a particular environment variable. And when I try to
Oh.
do that, It doesn't actually work because I believe it needs a reboot, which as soon as I reboot, I'm going to lose any settings that I have because this is running in USB mode as a live system. Okay, having said all that babble, I'm going to install it and I'll just talk my way through the install. And Kurt will laugh along and maybe fall asleep.
No, Kurt's here for a bit.
And you can pretend like you can hear what's happening
Huh.
and get your popcorn and enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched the movie from earlier, it was me walking around with a voice, crossing streets, doing dangerous things. So go watch that because that was fun too.
It was fun to listen to.
So in order to turn on accessibility in Orca, by the way, I'm installing Fedora. I'm installing the Mate version of Fedora because I'm used to the old GNOME style, GNOME 2 style menus. GNOME 3 is accessible, so you can install newer versions and it will work fine. If you want to install like the Mate or the GNOME edition, or you want to do some other distro, you can do that and it worked fine. I was actually thinking about trying out Pop OS, but I happen to have a thumb drive with Fedora on it, so I'm going to install Fedora.
Cool.
And this is the Mate edition. So in order to enable Orca to speak, by the way, what you first have to do is plug in your thumb drive to get it booting to USB, and a OCR app can help in that it will let you know if you are at the boot screen, but it won't tell you which one you have selected. Now, typically, the way it works is your first option is your hard drive. That's the one that's usually selected. Your second is your USB drive. So unless you've changed that in your BIOS, that tends to be the order of things. And I have a bunch of computers, and each one of them has a very different hotkey to boot from, to get to the boot screen. I have one that's Escape. I have one that's F9. I have another one that's F12. I can't tell you which one will get to your boot menu, but you can look that up on the Google. Go to google.com, type your manufacturer model, and how to get to boot screen or something like that. You will probably get your your hotkey for your machine. Otherwise, just experiment. It's probably F1, F9, F8, F12, something like that, or Escape. It might be Escape. So give it a go and try it out and see what happens. Anyway, going to once it boots, to turn on Orca. Orca is the screen reader. It's that's what it's called. So to turn it on, you can do Alt Windows. In Linux, the Windows key is called the meta key. Anyway, Windows, Alt, and the letter S, like Sam. Or you can do Alt F2 and type Orca and press Enter. You will know when you get to fully booted, because once you are, this is again another reason why an OCR app can help. You can very easily go to your OCR app, and it will have things that like the menu bar up top. It'll start reading that, so it'll say applications, places, system. It'll start reading maybe some icons that are on the desktop, that kind of thing. So that's how it works. Now, I'm going to install this, but in order to install this, I need to make some changes to Orca first. Otherwise, I'm going to go absolutely insane. To access the Orca settings, we're going to hit Insert Space. And I'm going to adjust a few things. One of those is the key echo, because otherwise it reads out literally every key that I press, and that's very annoying to me. So I'm going to go to the echo page, and I'm going to uncheck the box that says Enable Key Echo. Thank God. So I've disabled that checkbox, and everything else should be disabled. So I'm going to hit the Apply button, which is, a lot of times Alt-A, but I'm going to hit Apply. Thank God the echo's gone. Now I'm going to go to the Voice tab, and we're going to change the speech rate because it's way too slow.
And you don't have to have it on for anyone to listen to.
Right. So I'm going to change the speech rate, and we're going to go all the way to 100. And even that's way too slow, so I'll have to change that another time. Because that's going to require changing a basically configuration file. All right, let's see. Is there anything else I want to change in here? So the screen reader itself has, it's laid out in a bunch of tabs. So we have a general tab where you can change your keyboard layout, your progress bar updates. You can change your progress bar announcements. You can change your mouse announcements. You can change your timed format. So a lot of good configurability. You can change your date format. And there's quite a lot of options for the date options there. So let's see. You can enable say all, rewind and fast forward and say all. You can enable structural navigation in say all. You can enable what is announced when you're in say all and literally disable a bunch of things to be announced in say all, which can be really helpful to get through stuff quickly.
I bet in the terminal, especially.
Well, in the terminal, you're not really using say all. It's more like that's like the read from cursor to end or whatever the NVDA calls it.
Oh, you're right. Okay, fair enough.
Let's see. In the voice tab, you have things like voice type, speech, system. So that's in Linux. There's speech systems that you can use. Your synthesizer, your language, your person, your capitalization style, rate, pitch, volume, break speech into chunks, speak multi-case strings, speak number as digits, bunch of more options. Let's see, in the speech tab, we've got, you can change your verbosity to say enable or disable speech if you use Braille. You can enable or change your punctuation level, most, some, none, or all. You can, if you are a low vision user, you can have it only display displayed text, which can be helpful if you just want limited speech. Blank lines, indentation and justification, misspelled word, object mnemonics, tutorials, colors as names, block quotes, announcing different things when you navigate, tons of
Yeah.
options.
I'm very confused by some of these.
You can have it speak the full row in documents or in spreadsheets. Let's see, we have a Braille page with tons of Braille settings. You can
Yay.
enable Braille support. You can enable or disable end-of-line symbol, abbreviated role names, so that's for checkbox and things like that. You can enable or disable word wrap.
Does
Enable
it use Braille
contracted Braille.
TTY?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Contracted Braille, you can use that. US English Braille, grade 1, grade 2.
Are the commands as like bizarre as they are in the Android Braille TTY?
Each display is a little different.
Okay.
So you can use UEB Math or UEB 1 or 2. You can enable or disable flash messages. You can make the messages verbose or detailed. You can make them persistent so that they don't just flash and disappear. You can change the duration for how long they're on the display. You can change the verbosity when you're in Braille reading. You can change your selection indicator to be 7 and 8 or some other combination. You can change a hyperlink indicator. So let's see. Echo, you can enable key echo, character, word, line, sentence. Actually, not line, just sentence. Key bindings, you can change literally all the hotkeys for Orca. Pronunciation has a pronunciation dictionary. Text attributes. There's literally a bunch of things that you can check or uncheck. You can also change the Braille indicator for all of these
Oh, cool.
text attributes in that section. So it's a really powerful way to adjust what is spoken or not spoken for text attributes like underlines and all that. There's like 36 of them. So anyway, that's all the Orca settings. So I'm not sure why I decided to go through all that, but there we go.
Oh, excuse me.
Let's see. All right, so let's go do the install, shall we?
Sure.
Otherwise, we'll just keep babbling. So right on the desktop, there's an install to hard drive option. So
That'll be
just so-
different with every Linux you use, right? Like every
yeah,
distro?
for the most part, there's going to be. Most of them will have some kind of install on the desktop.
Okay.
But yeah, they will all look a little different. Now, one thing that I will warn you is when you do this, even though you can do a dual partition and you can do Linux and Windows, I would very much urge you to have a backup before you do this, because it is possible that you will lose your data. So back up. It's not likely, but it is possible, especially if you press the wrong option. Another thing I will tell you is that you probably want to have, and I don't know why I'm giving you these warnings, I should think that if you're playing around with Linux, then you're a big boy and you know what you're doing, or a big girl, and you know what you're doing. But if you want to use this, and I would really recommend that you have a flash drive with Windows on it, so that you can restore back to Windows, or that you know how to make a flash drive with Windows. You can use ISO to USB in Android. You can use Rufus. You can use the Windows recovery tool in Windows if you have access to a Windows machine. There's lots of ways that you can do this, but please make sure that you have access to Windows ISO in case you want to go back. And you might also need your manufacturer's drivers in the case that you go back to, because, yeah. So
Yeah.
let's install the hard drive, and let's shut up. So I'm going to hit enter. Oh, I hit enter and nothing happened. That's cool. Okay, it's called Anaconda. That's the installer. So the first screen is language. So English is selected. And the locale is selected as English United States. We can change this to whatever locale we want. There's also a search box that you can type into if you'd like to select something different. So I'm going to tab to the continue button and we'll press enter. And now the next step is the keyboard layout, which is the part I need the most because I need to set this to Dvorak. So I'm going to hit enter there. So I'm going to add layout, tab to add layout, press enter. And I'm going to search in the search box for Dvorak, if I can write. I'm going to choose English US Dvorak. And I'm going to hit enter on add.
Very good.
And I'm going to remove the US one. Thank God. All right. I have my Dvorak. I've just verified it. There's a search box that you can test your layout. So this is actually very friendly. And I'm going to hit done for the keyboard layout section. Installation destination. I'm going to hit enter on that and select the hard drive. All right, let's see if we can come up with any disks here. So this is where we select our hard drive.
Oh, no.
All right, add my disk. There we go. There, we'll hit done. Select that. Root account. We'll set a password for the root account. And we don't want to enable the root account, so we'll just we'll hit done.
Oh, you can enable the root account there if you want, though. That's cool.
Yep. Okay, it's got the right time zone. It's got the correct Wi-Fi network. Now let's create a user. Full name. You don't actually need this. Username. And we'll make this user administrator. And now I'll type in my password. Confirm password. Done. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see here. see here. Let's see if we have any comments.
I didn't see any as of a second ago. Are you missing your audio interface right now?
No. Why is that?
Our viewers might be, if we have any right this minute.
What do you mean?
I mean, because maybe then they could hear Orca.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing this in the next few days here, too. Or trying to, anyhow.
And so I'm just waiting for this installer to install, so it's almost like 50% done. All right, we're almost done. And we're done. So as soon as I reboot, I will have Linux installed. No more
Cool.
Windows.
So you didn't partition it.
Nope, I just did a full install.
Oh, bye-bye, Windows.
Yep, bye-bye Windows. If you want to partition it, you can. You can actually instead of the selecting the full drive space, you can say manual, and then you can actually create partitions. And there's an auto partitioner too. There's kind of like a hybrid where you can say, oh, I want Linux to be this size and Windows to be this size. So
Yeah. Oh, that's probably the way I should go on this laptop if I still want Windows to run, huh?
yeah.
And have it remember my settings every time I reboot.
Well, you'll have to change that in. I mean, so yeah, if you do the full install, you can go into the boot manager and set up which is the default OS to boot.
Gotcha.
So once you install Linux, you'll end up with Grub, and Grub is pretty easy to configure through config files anyway. But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go.
Cool.
Mark, what desktop are you using? This is Fedora, and this is Mate. Not a fan of GNOME. And are you meant to hear Orca? No, I addressed that in the beginning. Firefox does not allow for audio screen sharing. And Chrome is kind of a little bit of pain to get accessible in that I have to export a environment variable, and it doesn't work seemingly until I reboot, which I can't do on the live system. So
Yeah.
I've tried logging out, logging back in, and it still doesn't seem to work. So
You could now, couldn't you?
I could now and see if it'll let me screen share. I seem to remember the last time I tried to do screen sharing from Linux, it didn't go too well, but I could.
Yeah, but remember a minute ago when we were testing in Firefox on the other laptop, I could hear Orca for a minute.
Yeah, well, I can set it up as a monitor, but then you won't hear me speak. So yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, unless I tie the two together. But yeah, that's, kind of how that
Well.
works. So
Cool.
that's kind of an install there of Fedora, and I'll try to see maybe on whatever this Thursday we'll come back and stream, and I will see at that point maybe we can do a screen share, because right now if I
Yeah.
reboot I'm going to lose the stream, and then I'll have to log it back into StreamYard and all that. So I'll be gone for a good while. So I think we'll just end the stream here.
Sure. Maybe by Thursday I'll have this set up too, hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be cool. And one
It'll
thing
be
I'll
my
say
first-
is
go ahead.
don't get an Asus that is running AMD and MediaTek wireless cards and whatever else and expect that to work in Linux. Apparently it doesn't work very well. So, yep.
Yep, and that's what I'm going to be dealing with.
Yeah, that's... do you have Ethernet?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll have to at least connect that way, because...
Yeah, and apparently other people with this laptop have had better luck with other distros. I mean, that's all just according to, like, Reddit, but, you know.
I would be surprised. Fedora is usually on the bleeding edge. The only thing I can think of is maybe other distros have...
It was Ubuntu.
Yeah, so maybe Ubuntu has some proprietary drivers or something that Fedora leaves out, but otherwise...
And that person might have had a machine with an Intel card, for all I know, because
Yeah.
this laptop used to come with Intel cards until about half of the way through last year. They changed
And
over
if it
to-
was an Intel card, it would definitely be supported.
Yeah. So that could have been it.
Yeah. And I have no doubt this new card will be too in time.
Eventually.
Yeah.
The MediaTek Wi-Fi cards in these laptops are not very good, people, by the way. So for context,
MediaTek is garbage.
Nimmer got the 14-inch version of the laptop I have with, like, slightly newer processor, but we both have the same crappy MediaTek Wi-Fi card in there, and it is really bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty good beast of a machine. It's pretty
Yeah.
powerful. Comes with a 240-watt charger. It's got this big, beefy, external dedicated graphics. Well, it's not external, but it's a dedicated graphics.
Right.
It's a quite powerful machine, and it's got the shitty wireless card. Well, it's not supposed to be that bad. It's supposed to be, a 6E card.
Yeah.
And if I'm very close to the router, I can get very good speeds with it. But The range just is terrible.
It's
So
on the bleeding edge if you read about it on MediaTek's website. It's kind of funny.
like I said, it's if you're close to the router, it is good. It is. I have no issues with it whatsoever when you're close to it. But when you try to use it and you're, I don't know, like 20 feet away, yeah, maybe not.
I think you'll find too. Up until I updated the drivers a couple weeks ago. Well, um, yeah, I had the Intel version of this thing. Then I traded it for the AMD one, which Nimmer was like, "Why did you do that?" But,
Yeah, I think that's a mistake.
I mean, I wanted the more portable. I have a smaller charger, and that mattered to me. But
Yeah.
in any case, what
Well,
I
if
was
you ever upgrade to the newer one, you don't even get that. 'Cause,
right,
that's a 240 watt now
right.
too.
Um, but where I was going with that was I had to update the Wi-Fi drivers because latency was all over the place too. Like
Yeah.
like I would get a ping of like 10 milliseconds and then it would go up to like 20.
Now my ping times are stable. It's right around 9, 10.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's just the range that's just really, really
Yeah.
crappy.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you maybe Thursday, maybe not. It's I've been pretty busy with work stuff, and I know Kurt's doing his Kurt thing. So
Right.
if you don't see us, sometimes we'll try to be on whenever we feel like it. So
Yeah.
there we
Thank
go.
you, everybody.
Yep. Thanks all, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye. Let's see. Can we leave the?